let me start by saying congratulations to my buddy, Eli Grace, who has just become a father of Ruby and Grace. And Ruby and the mom Hannah are doing well. And here's a great shot of Easy being a dad. And Easy is in the chat almost every week, and I really appreciate his support, and I wanted to get around him. And I certainly hope people find that we are back. If you are paying attention, you would have seen that Dwayne went live this morning as well, and he had a double giveaway, making up for May, I think he missed. And this morning, Dave Hopkins won a loader. And more topical to this show, Sam Comport won a free jersey designed by Anthrax, which is pretty sweet. On a similar note, make sure you're paying attention to paintball and pop culture. Dwayne's cranking these out relatively regularly. The most recent episode is an episode of The Community, and it has a guest judge, Marcelo Margot, which is awesome. I love my segues. Speaking of Marcelo Margot, Play the Game podcast, his most recent episode has Wolf of sort of the bush ball scene, the woods ball scene, which is kind of cool that they're kind of showing off both sides of the sport, or multiple sides of the sport. You know who else is on Play the Game podcast? Tyler Harmon. And I hope that you guys checked out last week's episode that was pre-recorded because I was on holidays with Tyler Harmon. He'd given a very generous 7-minute video cycling through some of his jersey collection. And I have started uploading these community contributions separately on my YouTube channel as well, in case you just wanted to check out what the community is submitting. And I thought it definitely warranted it. In addition, if you are a Tyler Harmon fan, there is a Tyler Harmon Dynasty jersey that's just gone up in the marketplace. And if I lived in the States and shipping and exchange rates and all that weren't a problem, I'd probably be on that. Now, Carl Markowski's got his Playing On podcast, and I'm a supporter of his. I like what he does over there, and he has actually submitted a photo of one of his prized jerseys for me to include in this show. And most recently, his 99th episode is with B and Mike Paxson. I haven't had a chance to listen to it because there's only 24 hours in a day. But B contributed a short video to this show a little while ago as well. So she seems to be kind of making the rounds, getting on a few different podcasts, which is pretty cool to see. My chat is so quiet, it's making me sad. I've lost everybody. Now, I spotted this on Instagram. Droogs has dropped its new kit for, I'm assuming 2021 at this point. And it is a collaboration between Anthrax and Sandana. And if you look closely, you can see the flying skulls in the pattern of the jersey. And I think that came out really good. I think that's pretty sweet. You know who plays for Droogs? Jessie Maiello. And this is a jersey that she was selling off with a bunch of her other gear, and I will get back to you on that, Jessie, because I will have it. Now, a couple of other community contributions. I've got this photo, which is a Dead Rabbits team jersey, and I think Elmo designed that. I might be wrong. This individual also sent me this jersey, Ruthless paintball team, which I don't know as much about, but I believe that's his sort of personal team that he plays for. And I am talking about Mark Etok. And the reason I'm bringing him up is because he's just started a YouTube channel. Well, he hasn't just started it. He's got a few videos up there, but I think he's going to reinvigorate it. And he is focusing on sort of tips and tricks for paintball players, and he's focusing on fundamentals at first. He's got one instructional video up there right now, which is very much a focus on fundamentals, but he wants to kind of build and add to it and eventually get to the point where he's demonstrating things that he's still learning right now and trying to master right now. So over time, it should cater to a spectrum of experience. And I think his YouTube name is Rockstarred, and it's got 3 R's in the middle there. So Rockstarred. So get around that. Some other content that's going on is Ben Simpson just did an interview with Scotty Martin, and I always reach out to people who Scotty interviews in hopes that I can kind of offer a segue and promote what Scotty's doing. And Ben shot me this photo, which as soon as I looked at that, I immediately was like, okay, maybe we can chat a little bit more. So watch this space. Ben and I are going to come up with some time to go through that closet sometime soon. There's a lot of green jerseys in there that I'd like to check out. I think I see his Crisis jersey as well. So if you haven't done so already, you should check out Scotty's latest episode with Ben. It's episode 19. And I just grabbed one quote from this, and I think that's all you need to know. Quote, I remember actually physically writing it down and saying it to our team as well. I want to be playing pro. I want people to be scared of us. I want to mentally beat people before they get on the field. And I think that really encapsulates the sort of grit and determination and competitive nature of Ben and his brother Carl. But you should check that out. There's a lot to learn from that episode. All right, now this bit, I've titled this bit the Photographers Union, because I try to be a bit of a photographer out on the paintball field. And players aren't the only people that get to collect and produce some sweet jerseys. So I reached out to some photographers, and in the next couple episodes, I'm hoping to showcase some photographers as well. So if you've been out to a field, especially maybe out in New South, you might recognize that kit. And here it is on an NXL Media jersey as well. Obviously, I'm talking about Trinity Hook. That's pretty sweet. She's got her brand right across that one. And I got Trinity Hook there on the left of your screen, who is a very generous and approachable photographer. And when I first made my way out to Sevens, she reached out to me and just kind of showed me around and showed me some good angles and that sort of thing. And she's just a really generous person. And with her in that shot is Morgan Lane. And I reached out to Morgan, who was a really active photographer maybe a few years ago. And she said she doesn't really have any photographer jerseys. She just wears an Envious jersey, which is a nice problem to have. She also mentioned that she's been gifted many jerseys over the years. So again, watch this space, because I'm going to have to holler at Morgan sometime. And like I said, more photographer submissions coming soon. And the chat is dead. I've lost everyone. Just some marketplace things. I spotted there's a handful of this style of Infamous jersey that are going for quite a pretty penny. And I had one of these jerseys years ago. It was a blank, so it wouldn't be as valuable as, say, this Lemansky that's up. But I kind of wish I hadn't gotten rid of it. Also, there's a JRAB jersey, a Russian Legion JRAB jersey that's here in Adelaide. David Cavalcenti, I'm assuming it's a soft C. I just call him Spatch. He's been selling it, trying to sell it. He may have locked in a deal. If you are interested in that, you should get a hold of him quick. I came across this as well. Some of you might not even recognize what these are. This is old school JT racing jerseys, and they are very hard to come by, especially in the States. Very valuable, very ag. And my mate, Thomas Hitchman, has one that looks just like the one that's front and center in the middle there. So those are, those are quite a find. Okay, now, Tim Matthey, I hustled this out of Tim. So this is a jersey that he's had on for sale on a Paintball Australia buy-sell trade page for quite some time. And I was chatting to him about it. He marked this one as one of his most prized jerseys, even though he's selling it, which is a little bit sad to me. And I asked him to tell me a little bit about it, so forgive me for reading. He says, the Pink Sausage People is a group of players from Dubai that joined and formed a team to represent Dubai at World Cup Asia. We, SIN, were in the same division as them, but in a different pool, and never got to play them, but formed a good bond and did a jersey swap with them. The team broke up after that event, with players going back to their own respective teams. The spirit of paintball, its rivalries and differences coming together, are what makes that jersey special. And that's so awesome. There's people collect jerseys for so many different reasons, and jerseys encapsulate so much nostalgia and emotion that I think that is pretty special. So, in light of that, I wanted to share some other stuff that I got from Tim. So he mentioned playing for, forgive me, let me swap this up. He mentioned playing for Sin. So he had a couple of these jerseys that he was selling with in his thread, and I wanted to buy some. Now the reason that I jumped on this is because I distinctly remember playing Sin at SAPA in like 2009, 2010. I remember playing maybe 2010 at a PAVS tournament when I was playing with Fusion. I remember Sin, I remember them well. And I know that a lot of the Sin players kind of moved into the Hustle camp, so I know it's not as simple as Sin turning into Hustle, but it does, to me, this stands out as another piece of paintball history. And not only did he send me one, but he sent me another one, which is just small enough that it might fit my little boy. So we're gonna have some fun with those. So thank you for that, Tim. Let me see, and I do have some more Tim Matthey to share in the future. He's obviously had a big impact on Australian paintball, especially in Victoria. And like I said, I relish the chance to get a hold of some of his jerseys. Okay, so now I'm going to cut to a little video here and maybe try to get some more people in the chat. So I'm always reaching out to people in the community who might want to have share their jersey collection, however big or small or mighty, as Addie might say. And I got a hold of Addie and Jason Bias, who took a little bit of time to talk to me about their jersey collection. So this is a twofer. It's about 8 minutes long, but it's 2 for 1. So hang in there with these guys, and I'll see you on the other side.
I'm Addie. I am the team mom of the Marauders, former, what was I for Gladiator? I was the marketing coordinator for Gladiator last year, and I'm going to show off some of my jerseys.
And Jason here, former captain of the Marauders, now spokesman slash coach slash ambassador for the team. And yeah, I'm doing the same.
So I thought I would start with my Marauders jerseys without poking myself in the head too much with them. This was my first jersey. This is my head cheerleader jersey. This was the jersey that I got when I first sort of joined the team. And then the jersey I got after that was my Pit Queen jersey. Dwayne from PBHQ has that one because he actually gave me that nickname. Whoop. And then this is our jersey for this year, last year. This is my team mum jersey. And this was the jersey, this is the only jersey that fit Nick Lamb round one, because his jersey hadn't come from Anthrax yet. So this is my Sacramento DMG jersey. It's my Dave Vasquez jersey. Dave played with us for a little while and I kept bugging him for a jersey and he eventually gave in, and so this is one of my favorite jerseys. This is my Chops jersey. Stingrays. It's got a star on the front of it. This is my Stingrays jersey. This is Chops' jersey. It's also a neg one. We fight over the person who has that number. He maintains he has it first. I'm the person who wears it in Australia. He just has to deal with it. But again, this is another one of my favorite jerseys just because it's someone who means a lot to me and I like collecting the jerseys of my friends. I'm missing one at the moment. I want to get a Iron Man jersey from Thomas Kim. I keep bugging him about one as well, so I got to get one of those. This.
Both of them.
Yeah, I guess. These are my Impact jerseys. I am a really, really big Impact fan. So this is my Keith Brown jersey. This one's actually really comfortable to wear, and I really actually prefer it over these ones because these ones have got the really big arm guards. But this one is my Rainy jersey, and they're both signed, although Keith will have to come back and sign that one again because that one is losing its signature. But I really like the colours on that one. And then I think that's Impact's current.
No, I think that was last year's World Cup.
Was it last year's? I don't know.
Yeah.
But what do you got? Mine's my collection is small but mighty, but Jason has been collecting for longer than I have.
So with Impacts, I too got one from Keith Brown because he's just an awesome dude. He's one of the most positive people I've ever met. We actually got, I think the team bought like 5 jerseys from him when he came over.
We funded a bit of his trip.
Yeah, so, and this one's just one of my favourite because it's quite clean and I love the grey and just it hasn't got an emblem on it. It's just a straight impact. Growing up and being in paintball, I was a diehard fan of Dynasty.
I love this one.
That was my original back, I think, in my amateur days. I used to wear it to training. And then back when they had Rockstar and they used Empire. And that has been signed by basically the entire team that comes out to Australia. It's got Yaba, it's got Greenspan, it's got
Marcelo's on it.
Marcelo, and I think it had Spicker when he was obviously with Dynasty. Another one that's signed by all of them is my A-Rod jersey. Again, he's another super awesome dude. And he went from number 3. This was his last number 3 jersey that he played in when he changed number to number 1, but now he's currently back at number 3. This is a 1-of-1 black gold Dynasty jersey. Spicker had this in 2015. He actually won the 2015 Masters in Australia in this. And it's a 1-of-1. I bought this off his back.
It was soaking in sweat.
It was gross. It was oh, actually, it was beautiful.
And he chased me around with it.
Yeah, this one is a 1-of-10. Another one of my teammates, Matt.
Current
captain of the Marauders. He actually bought this jersey first when Spicker had him, and then the second time he came around, he bought more. So I had to get my hands on that. I guess something that I should talk about is my Marauders kit. I've gone through 5 generations of jerseys through the team, back playing amateur, semi-pro and pro. My first original jersey was by Animal. That's lost in the void somewhere.
When we were like setting up for this video,
exactly where that
we
is.
actually did go looking for it, but we don't know where it's gone. It's probably been
god
lost in a
ugly.
move.
It was pretty ugly, so I'm kind of glad. Yeah. We then moved from Animal to Raza. Super comfy. It was our first kind of pro design jersey, I guess, from overseas. We had this with basically through all of amateur. This was the next 3 gens. That was the 3rd gen when we first got into Anthrax via semi-pro. And then these 2 are our pro jerseys that we've currently been wearing. That one's mongulated because of the coat hanger. But yeah, so that's a 2018, and this is the 2020 Anthrax. This is the Messiah, the 2020 Messiah jersey.
It's also worth noting that the Marauders were the first Anthrax sponsored team in Australia, and we're now the first Elite Corps team in Australia. Yeah, we're the first and only Elite Corps team in Australia, which is actually something really special. We love being able to like say that we've got these amazing teams behind us, and like Anthrax and HK and
factory team for Lux as well.
Yes, and we're the only factory sponsored team in Australia for Lux as well. So we're really, really fortunate and really, really lucky to have such amazing teams backing us and stuff like that. And Jason has one last jersey.
Yeah, so the last jersey that we have in our possession is a
Dizon.
Dizon jersey from Houston Heat. He is an amazing person, amazing player.
He's a Marauder.
He's a Marauder. He's done so much for me, for the team. So this is definitely a special jersey that we have here.
Like everybody who's played on the team's a Marauder, but like Ronnie has this amazing place in our hearts.
Yeah, so that's kind of the last one that I wanted to show off because it basically goes in the line of my Marauders jerseys anyway. And yeah, so Dizon has been an amazing individual for myself and for the team. And he's done so much for us and helped us out in terms of championships and event wins.
There's so many jerseys here. We're gonna have to go through them.
Yeah, no, never mind. But yeah, so
there's a great collection here, and I feel like it's not going to be the end of the collection. Like I said, I need a Thomas Kim one. So Thomas, I'm going to send you this video. And you're gonna have to send me one, honey. I just need one.
There is one that I want to add to my collection personally, and that is a Tim Montressor, the blue-black World Cup jersey that he wore think it was a couple years ago. But every time he was over, I was always hankering him for one, but he never had one in my size.
Thank you for going through our jersey collection. Now we have to go back and hang them all up. But it's good. It's good going through all these and like going through the memories and stuff like that. But thank you for going on our jersey collection with us.
Cool. There you go. So thank you to Jason and Addie to take some time and sit down and do that video for me. I do love featuring the some of the Aussies who have helped build the Aussie community, and it's great to get sort of the big fish like Tyler Harmon, which is very exciting for me last week. But to me, for this show, it's just as important to be featuring the Aussies that are kind of building the community day to day, and those two are definitely doing so. Now, just catching up with the chat that I am now back with. Amanda says you remember Tim playing in that Sin jersey, and also giving some love for that Dynasty collection of Jason's. It is a decent collection. Now, I wanted to show off one other thing here. So, like I said, 2 for 1 with Addie and Jason. I'm also going to show off two things in this episode. I'm always just thinking of like who or might be on the outskirts of the community that might be interesting to feature, and it dawned on me to reach out to this individual. And so I've got this individual's, the closest thing he has to a jersey up here. And he messaged me saying that this is sort of before jerseys were a thing. First of all, Tiger Stripe, I'm in. And I think very few people in the paintball world would appreciate this kit and who it belongs to. This is Mike Cassidy's prized jersey that he sent me a photo of. And again, most people in the paintball world right now might not know who Mike Cassidy is, but I know who Mike Cassidy is. So Mike Cassidy is the founder, he's the designer, engineer, machinist for CCI fandom. And many people would know that I'm a pump guy. And this is another thing that's in my collection. This is a stock class CCI Phantom. And I don't know how many of this type of marker there are in Australia, especially one that's sort of this individualized. So Mike is a special guy. He retired a little while ago, but like I said, he's like a one-man machine at CCI Phantom, or CCI Industries, or Inc., whatever they were. Inc., Component Concepts Inc. It's written right there. He was, he designed it. He did all the work. When you wanted to call and ask a question, Mike answered the phone. When you wanted to email and place an order, Mike returned your email. He was a one-man machine, and Phantoms were such a huge part of the pump scene in particular. When it comes to competitive pump play, some would argue that the auto pump cockers, the snipers, the CCM, and some of these other companies produced maybe more like tournament level markers, but I think when people think of pump guns, they think of Phantoms. And this is one that Mike made for me personally a few years ago. Make sure that's on there. I asked for dust pink. He said he could do weak red. I will take it. So it is a stock class marker, and again, not many people know too much about stock class play, but we do have a hopper that's right here. That's your 10-round tube up there, or your feed tube, or whatever it might be. And this is your pod. You have to fill this up after you shoot 10 balls. You have to fill it up again. And the nature of this is the breech is right here. You have to make sure that the marker's rocked forward before you cock it, and that is the origin of the term rock and cock guns, or rock and cock markers, which is then the origin of the pump team, the Rock and Cocks, which is why they are the greatest team name ever. And you'll notice there's no tank on this thing. There's no tank because instead we've got a 12-gram changer down here. So you have to put a 12-gram in there, chuck that back in there. You might get 30, 35, maybe 40 shots depending. So to play with this thing, You have to be managing your paint on the top. You got to be managing your 12 grams there, and it is definitely a challenge. But that is a very special marker to me. Like I said, I doubt there's anything of this like this in Australia. I know there's Phantoms, but it ain't this one. It's also got acrylic parts. These clear acrylic parts are very, very hard to come by. In fact, I bought an entire other Phantom that had the acrylic parts just so I could take the parts off and put them on this one. But I just wanted to show that one off. Really psyched that Mike sent me his jersey. Means a lot to me. He's retired now, retired about a year or so ago, but the man made his mark. And this is an awesome piece of machinery, my Phantom. I see Scout in the chat saying RC Life. Most def. All right, I think that's all I got. I will just offer a quick shout out to Dwayne, doing all the hard work every week, Mondays, 7:30 Adelaide time, whatever that works out to you. Just going over all of the events for the week, whatever paintball is happening, he will be covering. I think that's all I got. Those of you who are still with me, thanks for hanging in there. That was a pretty messy start to this episode, but it's always nice to have you guys in the chat. As usual, be good, drink your milk, do the right thing, take care of each other, and I'll see you guys next week.